Accidentally stopped the stream, pushing the wrong button. God dang, on the wrong screen. Sheesh.
Is sort of front row bystander of.
Right. Oh, so true, BA. That 2,000, 1,500 season, it never.
I paid $100 for this broken Xbox Series X that was dropped on concrete. That is just crazy. That would take so much force. But the good news is there's not any components lining this.
Yo, I had a got a coworker who was just talking about this kind of thing. He was holding his Series X like this, and it slipped out his hand. Picking it up, slipped out his hand. Bro, I cuddle mine. Like when I used to carry it when I was switching my setup around, I used to cuddle my Series. I'm not dropping that. You kidding me? Man, this much. He dropped his, holding it like this. Reason why I cuddle mine, I, there was an issue, which I might have to set something up since I'm back over here. But there was an issue with where it rained. It was a tornado, and it rained, and it leaked in here somehow, and it leaked in my Xbox One S, and it was done. I was broken. I was hurt. Like, dang, at least I got my PS4, but I couldn't even imagine the idea of dropping it, bro. He dropped on the concrete. Sheesh. You ain't got no choice because it's gonna shatter. That's crazy. Yo, no way. Well, I just dropped my phone, but it's in a Spidgeon case, so it's all good.
A few months ago, I did a podcast talking about
It's my boy Charlie Newhart. You from the D.
my ex-wife shot me. A clip of that video went viral. Here it is. Now, if you know that story, you know that I was holding our 2-year-old son during an argument. My ex-wife pulled a gun on me, shot me in the forearm. The bullet went through my forearm, grazed his forehead. Then she pointed the gun at my face and squeezed the trigger, and the gun jammed. God protected me. What you don't know is that I divorced her immediately. I got custody of our son, and she did 3 years in prison. She went on with her life. I went on with mine. Quick update, she just got arrested for murdering her boyfriend. It's all over the news. A Georgia woman was arrested years after the body of a man was found in an Alabama shallow grave. Long story short, she found out her boyfriend was cheating, shot him in the head 3 times while he was asleep. All right.
Yo, that's crazy. Cause I remember the story he used to tell a lot on Craig Facts. They were making fun of him because he said he talked about firing on his baby mom. You know what I'm saying? But that was the instant when the gun jammed. He fired on her, took the gun. She's still trying to get back to the gun, and he was out. He took his kid. He bounced like he just said. He got sole custody of his child. For this to come back around, this is what I mean, bro. It's what I'm talking about. This is what I was just talking about. Somebody you think she probably right now you can see with all the pain on her face, she probably don't look as good as she did to him when they were younger. They were younger though when that happened. You know what I'm saying? His son grown in the mug now. But that's what I mean. It's in the music, it's in the TVs, in the movies, and we're teaching our children to, you know, go this route. Think about all of this stuff later on. You know what I'm saying? This stuff wild, bro. Now he come back decades later. She done shot her boyfriend in the head 3 times because she found out he was cheating, but he didn't know who he was dealing with. He didn't know who he was sleeping with. He didn't know who was in his bed, who he was in the bed with. But we make these choices just because we think somebody look good. Yo, you know, you don't even know what she into. I came across a video like not like last year sometime. I was watching a series. I was listening to a series of videos on YouTube, and it just so happened to be it's this older guy who does Deliverance now, but when he was a kid in New York, he was heavily into witchcraft. He was heavily into voodoo, and he has, talked about his testimony and his deliverance. So that goes off, then another one comes on, and it's a young lady, and she talks about her journey, her story, and pretty young lady, but you wouldn't even have known unless she divulged the information to you that she was into witchcraft. The whole crystals and saging, all of that stuff. People think you don't be thinking about that stuff, man, but that stuff is a real thing. When she was into that, I mean, you wouldn't even know. Looking just off first glance, probably had a little conversation, something a little different about her, but other than that, you know what I'm saying? So, I said that to say you don't even know people. What I was just saying. You don't even know you get in bed with, just because you're giving in to your devices. Not to say, I was the same way. You never know who you're dealing with. I had an ex-girlfriend toss her radio at my head. You don't know who you're dealing with, bro. Go on the other side.
Reached out to me and said, "Hey, shoot done."
Really cared about black lives, why would it be solely isolated to incidents where a black life is taken at the hands of a white cop? That happens less than 1%.
Come on.
Now, wait. Now, I like to equate this to, it's the same as if I was in a horrific accident. I have a massive head wound, I have a leg fracture and a scratch on my finger. And here come the first responders, and they want to tend to the scratch on my finger. And I'm telling you, what about the wound on my head? What about my fractured leg?
Come on.
That's what the BLM movement is. They're tending to the scratch on my finger, and that's not even what it's about. If you want to help us, let us tell you how you can help us.
Bingo.
Don't come in and tell us how you want to help us, and don't tell me that I'm oppressed, because I'm not oppressed.
Yeah. BLM.
So some time ago, I was at work, right? And I was walking around introducing myself to all of my patients. It was the beginning of the shift.
And my question to you is, what specifically about medically transitioning do you think is so immoral?
If you are struggling to accept who you were born as, what your actual biological identity is, I have all the compassion in the world for that. I mean, I can't imagine having that disconnect in my head. It has to be a source of immense despair. But what I hate is the medical professionals who, instead of helping you with that, and instead of helping you to accept who you really are and find joy and fulfillment in it, they're trying to make a quick buck, and they're selling you false promises, and they're telling you that this stuff is based on long-term studies, and they're lying to you because it's not. There have never been any reliable long-term studies on almost all of this stuff, because the fact is that the medical industry only started doing this at such a large scale recently, so they couldn't have the data. They're pretending that they do. They're lying. And that's what I hate. That's the immorality.
And my question to you is,
You know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. You said enough. You said it perfectly.
It's the final line you cross, cause I've been going through it. International student, immigrant, actually wanted by the cage.
Here's a Windows feature that Google doesn't want you to know that could slow down your computer a lot. It doesn't matter what you do, play video games or edit spreadsheets. And I'm going to show you exactly how to avoid it. If you're new here, my name is Arsen. I'm based in...
Let's say you go to bed at 10 o'clock. 3 hours before, at 7 o'clock, you are done with eating. No more foods, no more snacks, no more anything. Anything that can be processed as nutrition, no more of that. Can you take supplements before bed? Yes. Can you take herbs before bed? Yes. Could you take herbal teas? We'll get to that in a moment. The answer would be yes after that 7 p.m., all right? No calories, No real calories, no real fat. Why? We're trying to turn off our digestive system. Our energy gets woken back up and ramped up in order to break down food. When you put food in your body, there is a thermogenesis, a thermogenic-based effect. Our body has to use energy. Now, it burns calories, that's good, right? But not so when you're getting ready to go to bed. You want to be calming the body down before bed. You don't want to be working on digestion. That could then not allow you to calm the body and get into a deep night's sleep. Let's say you go to bed at 10 o'clock. 3 hours before, at 7 o'clock, you are done with eating. No more foods.
That's good. I mean, you don't know. A lot of times you don't really know. You just know that you shouldn't eat before you go to sleep. That's like you don't want to eat and then immediately go to sleep. Some people think it's an hour, and it's a good measure to be told that it's 3 hours. It allows your body to digest all of the things that you just ate 3 hours prior. Now your body's prepared to do the rest of the work while you're sleeping, and not have to focus on doing this work. That's why you end up getting, really get a good night's sleep. You're waking up, you have broken sleep a lot of times because your body is digesting, and now while you're sleeping, you feel, an urge. You got to get up, you got to go.
A few months ago, I did a podcast talking about how my ex-wife shot me.
I feel like a lot of people have already forgotten that this Switch controller exists. This is the Pokeball controller designed specifically for Pokemon Let's Go. It's kind of like a Joy-Con.
When I got married, my business grew 278% over 3 years. If you look at some of the most successful people in the world, they got one girl, dude.
Yeah.
They got one, and they got a solid girl. They don't have none of these little Tweety birds running around. They got a solid chick. And the reason they do that is because it creates such a stable place to operate. I know that I've got somebody that's creating a home life for me, a place to relax and rejuvenate, my life force. I don't have somebody arguing with me. I don't have somebody calling me, texting me, I'm not doing enough, blah, 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 or trying to juggle 3 chicks and all that shit. That's fucking work. That's another full-time job, man. When you have like one person really there to support you and help you so that you can focus on the bigger task, you can't put a price on that. When I got married,
it's a part of he that findeth a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. I'm gonna leave it here. This is gonna be my last one. Solely because last couple major ones, big conversations have been surrounding this kind of topic. And like he was saying in the video, he said it a couple times.
my business grew 278% over 3 years. If you look at some of the most successful people in the world, they got one girl, dude. They got one, and they got a solid girl. They don't.
Solid. You don't find someone that's the one and solid, having not vetted everything that you need to vet out of that person. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about, everything. You vet them. You have to go through a process of in conversation. Amid the fact that they fine in the mud, that that part don't necessarily always matter. It don't matter. Doesn't matter. As we see on the other side here, this picture right here, you know what I'm saying? You see right here, his baby mama has shot at him with his 4-year-old child in his hand, 3-year-old in the hand, and she didn't care about who was around. And decades later, she, murdered her boyfriend, dump him in the river, and try to move on. As we seen, You gotta go through the process. You have to. You know, and as parents like me, you know, as parents, it is our, you know, responsibility on our side to be present in raising our children. Not only to be, but also to know this kind of information, know what to look for. We got a son, we got 2 daughters. You know, and daughters, you know, you're not going in nobody's hands unless I vet them. I'm gonna be the one to vet them. I'm gonna be the one to, you know who their parents are, know who their grandparents are, know who they are. Got to. And first couple times, so she knows, so they know. And with my son, same thing, so that he knows. You know, we're not just jumping into stuff because she cute, bro. She might be cute with a little boot, but that don't mean nothing to me. That don't mean nothing to you. In the long run, long term, we need to know who we're dealing with. So we're talking long term, you got to know who this person is. Not just, you know, the physical side of what you believe she could do. You know, the music is, when we allow it, it's going to raise our children. It has. You know. That being said, you know what I'm saying? That being said, that's going to be all for me today.